to the whole Enchilada, a community of high achievers that fight the status quo, rebel against mediocrity, and make life happen. Let's go.
Hello, Enchilada Nation. Excited for our conversation today and Happy New Year. We are rolling into 2026. I cannot even believe the year is here. Spending time with family and wrapping up an incredible 2025 and gearing up for an even better 2026. So here is the conversation today. New year, better you. We've all heard the phrase before, new year, new you. I hate when people use that phrase because you don't need a completely new you. When I hear people say new year, new you, what that is telling me is that you're disregarding everything you learned the previous year. So this coming year, it's a new year. It's a better you. It's not about replacing who you are or a reinvention of who you are. It's about refining who you are. The fact that you're already leaning into the community, the fact that you're already aspiring for more and growing and progressing in your world, do not discount the progress you've made to this point. Celebrate it. And then commit to continue to refine and become better. So here's our conversation today, which I'm really excited about. We are going to have 10 principles or tips about evolving your life in 2026. So get ready. These are 10 tips specifically to help you hit your goals in 2026. Here we go. Let's start with number one. Number one, remember, goals don't change lives, but lifestyles do. I'm all about setting goals. In fact, it blows me away how many people don't set goals. And most people don't set goals because they feel overwhelmed or stressed by them, or they have some trauma about in their history that keeps them from setting goals. But the problem is we can't count on the goal to change your life. What the goal does is it sets a benchmark or something for you to aspire to, but it won't happen unless you alter your lifestyle. So goals don't change lives, but lifestyles do. New goals don't deliver results, but new lifestyles do. James Clear says this that I really like. You don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of your systems. So a lot of times we set these goals of things that we want to accomplish, and they look great and they're exciting, but then we don't change anything about our systems, our habits, our models. And so those two things don't match up. I love aspiring to new goals, but for you to do that, you've got to elevate the level of your systems, your habits to accomplish that. It's all about the lag measure. And then what are the lead measures that need to change to get there? So we have to shift our energy from obsessing over the outcomes and start building the habits to make success inevitable. Habits take time, habits take energy. But again, goals don't change lives, lifestyles do. So focus on the lifestyle here in 2026. Here we go. Number two, the goal isn't to do more. It's to become something more. And I think this is a big challenge for a lot of us, particularly if you have some element of track record of success in your world. We get addicted to thinking we need to do more. And it's not necessarily about doing more. It's about becoming something more. And we have to identify what that is. There's times in life, evolution is about working on you. So remember, as you look at your goals this year, it isn't just necessarily about doing more. It's about becoming something more. Every goal is an identity goal in disguise. It's when you set the goals, it should feel like a puzzle piece. And when you put that puzzle piece together, it's like, oh yeah, that goal helped participate in creating me into this. It should paint a picture of what you're becoming. So an example of this is, many of you know that I picked up the guitar a few years ago, which I've loved. It's been such a huge part of my life. But you don't practice the guitar or an instrument to practice. I don't aspire to be a guitar practicer. What I've aspired to become is a musician. So I'm practicing the guitar with the aspiration of becoming a musician. It's the same thing with working out. I don't work out to say I'm a person that works out. I work out to increase my health so I can do my adventures and things that bring me joy at a higher level and increase the longevity of my life. So with your goals, don't just make it about the goal with a start and a finish line. Make it about a puzzle piece to what you're becoming. The goal isn't to do more. It's to become something more. Number 3, build habits you trust, then let time do the work. This is one that a lot of you struggle with, and I can say that because I do too. We tend to be really impatient. By the time we put it on our vision board, we already want it to be true, and we're already frustrated that it hasn't happened. So the confidence comes from the consistency of the activity, not just being motivated. Remember, when you're just acting on motivation alone, it takes energy to create motivation that then goes and does something. If I'm purely just leaning on motivation over and over and over again, I've got to spend energy creating motivation every single day to then go do the activity. But the confidence starts to come when I have to create motivation, but then I get consistent in building a habit, muscle, skill that becomes part of who I am. And it takes less motivation to do something if it's part of who I am. So remember, small promises kept with yourself daily build massive self-trust over time. Self-trust equals self-confidence. Self-confidence equals becoming something more and having trust in yourself that you can do more over time. So the whole idea between setting a goal and then identifying the habit that goes with it is turning that habit into autopilot, becoming part of who you are. Then you consistently do it. And this removes decision fatigue, which is a lot more mentally taxing than we think it is. So remember, build habits that you trust and that you know can become a part of who you are. Then just let time do the work. Just trust that if you continue to do that habit, that the results will show up. Number 4 is remember, gratitude is fuel. And this one, I think, is a big one. We get so busy doing things that we forget to be grateful for where we're at, grateful for what we have. We're always aspiring for more. We're always got our eye on that next purchase we want to make. Or we're always thinking, man, I can't wait till I have what my neighbor has. Whatever it is if we're constantly focusing on what we don't have, we can't be grateful for what we do. And one thing that I've learned over time is if I can be grateful for what I have and be okay with that being enough, and I can find happiness in that, somehow that creates momentum for more things to be invited into my world. So gratitude turns what we have into enough. Like by just acknowledging I'm grateful for this that I have, we're internally saying, hey, there is happiness to be found in where I'm at right now. And somehow that creates additional momentum and attracts more into your world. Some people will never find happiness because they can't find happiness in the journey. And finding happiness in the journey is driven by daily gratitude. Daily gratitude reframes progress so you don't live in constant dissatisfaction. Be satisfied with where you're at, be hungry for more, but find satisfaction through gratitude where you're at right now. Here we go. Number 5, you have to track the behaviors, not just the outcomes. This one was a big game changer in my world when I understood the process of understanding the difference between a lag measure, the outcome of what I want to have happen, and not just tracking that, but trusting that that will happen if I get really good at tracking the lead measures, the behaviors that must happen. And we overcomplicate things when we're just focused on the outcome. But if we can work things back to say, I know that if I do this over and over and over again, it will yield the result. Just trust the result will happen. So a lot of times the best thing to track in a lead measure are the habits that you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis. One of my favorite things to do each day is to go to an app that I use called Habits. It's a habit tracker. And it doesn't just give me the result of the end. It doesn't even know what the end result I'm trying to do. All it says is, did you do this today? Did you do this number of times this week? It knows exactly how many times I want to work out a week. It knows time I want to spend reading a faith book every day, how much time I want to read studying a business growth book every day. It knows how many times I want to do a service project throughout the year. And so all I got to do at the end of the day, it's a fun little game where I get to put it in there and it tracks my streak. And just by tracking the behavior, I find joy in it. And guess what's happening? The results, the outcome is showing up on its own. The scoreboard is stacking up. The score is going up, but it all comes down to my streaks in my habit tracker. So remember, you can't manage what you don't measure. So by choosing not to measure the lead measures, you're choosing not to get the end result. You can't repeat what you don't recognize. This is why you have to track the lead measures. Okay, number 6, replace your to-do list. Now, replace your to-do list with a success list. Now, notice I'm not saying just get rid of a to-do list and just guess what you're going to do every day. But the truth is there's a lot of things you could do every day. In fact, a lot of us are so good at making a to-do list that it becomes overwhelming because there's so many things on the list. Well, everything on your list does not have the same level of priority in relation to your goal. What happens when you have a really long to-do list and you feel a little overwhelmed? You pick the easy things on the list so you can tell yourself, great job, you were busy today, but you weren't productive. So I still do keep a to-do list of all the things I could be doing, but every night I put together a list that's more important called my success list. Now, my commitment to myself every single day is my workday is not done because it says 5 o'clock. My workday is done when my success list is done. So each night I put together my success list for the next day. So when I walk in to my office, ready to go to work the next day, I've already identified what must be done to move the needle today. Remember, a to-do list is just all the tasks. The success list are the needle movers. What are the things I must do today because I am committed to the goal? I'm going to move the needle today. My workday, whether if I get it done at 9:30, my success list, I can choose to be done for the workday if I so choose, because I got the success list done. So in conjunction with your overall to-do list, run a success list. And remember, the workday is not over until the success list is done. All right, here we go. Number 7. If it's not on your calendar, it is not a priority. So if I sat down with you and you told me, these are my priorities, it's important to me, these are my values, and I asked you to see your calendar, if I did not find anything on your calendar in relation to those values, what I'm going to tell you is what you're telling me is a priority in your world is not. What is on your calendar actually becomes what is actually your priority. So here's what I really recommend you do in conjunction with your success list is commit to living off of a calendar. And on your calendar, make sure you start with all of your personal non-negotiables, which include family time, vacation time, time with your kids, all of the things that are your highest priorities. If I pulled up my calendar for you for 2026, vacations are already done and paid for and bought and planned for the year. All of these things are on my calendar because they are a priority to me. And then I start stacking in my CEO time in my business, my thinking time, my planning time, my meetings with myself at the end of the day to get everything lined up like my success list for the next day. And then I work in my additional business items. Somehow, if I do it that order, I'm able to fit everything in my calendar. If I do it, start with business things on my calendar first, and just like the hustle bustle, somehow that fills the entirety of my calendar, and I don't have time to work out. I don't have time for the family stuff. It's really strange, but the same amount of things can fit in my calendar if I put them in by priority. So remember, if it's not on your calendar, it's not really a priority. All right, number 8. I know we're already into 2026. The new year has passed, but it's not too late to build your vision board. So I really love the idea of a vision board. I will tell you for several years thinking it was a little hokey pokey. However, there's something about having that visual of your goals right in front of you where you can see it on a regular basis. I hang mine on my wall where I can see it. And just that quick glance at it quickly reignites me about what my goals are and what I want to accomplish for the year, particularly because a lot of the things on there are my hobbies. They're things that fire me up, that keep me excited. The things I do within my work life generate the income for me to fuel some of these other things that are really important and fun for me. So just remember, it's not too late to build your vision board. The brain is automatically attracted to what it can see. Now, I know you say some of these things that you never forget because they're important to you, but if you're not looking at them on a regular basis and referring to them, it's as if you forgot them because you're too focused on other things. So build your vision board. Number 9, relationships are multipliers. They're not just accessories. So relationships are so important for personal growth. And I'm not just saying any relationships. You've got to be purposeful with the relationships that you attract into your world. Particularly, the bigger your goals are, the bigger you're thinking, the farther you are down the path, you have to be even more selective with who those relationships are. So remember, growth accelerates in proximity. If I surround myself with people with lesser goals, lesser commitment, it's going to make it even more difficult for me to continue to grow. So growth accelerates in proximity. So attract people into your world that promote and support your big thinking and your goals and want to help you get there. There's 3 types of relationships that I think are very important for you to think about. Number 1 is upward relationships. Who are you aspiring to become? Who's already 3 or 4 steps down the road from where you are that you want to become? Make an effort to build time with these people, spend time with them, ask them questions, bring value to them, and it will help accelerate you. The second type of relationship that you need to focus on is side by side. These are peer relationships. Who else is grinding it out with the vision, trying to learn on that growth path? Because you will need each other. You have to have those relationships of people in the trenches with you to create that brotherhood and energy. Because there will be days and you lean on the person next and it will go vice versa. So you need to have those peers who are as committed to their goals as you are. And the third type of relationship that you need to focus on is don't forget to look over your shoulder of who's 2 or 3 steps behind you that you can help. It's amazing by turning around and pulling someone with you actually creates your momentum moving forward. So don't forget to look over your shoulder and identify those relationships that need your help this year. Here's the truth. You show me your relationships and your closest relationships, and I will be able to map the trajectory of your success this year. If you feel like you're not making the momentum or the trajectory that you want to make this year, a good chance is you need to reevaluate your close relationships. All right, here we go. Number 10, progress beats perfection every single time. Here's the truth. This reason that a lot of people lose motivation on January 10th or 15th, they're already done. It's because when something comes, some little hiccup comes, some little stubble or bubble or whatever it is comes, and it will every single time, you have to be okay with the progress. You have to be okay saying, I didn't do it today, but I can do it tomorrow. Or I didn't do it today, but I've done it the last 3 days. That is progress. So remember, just identify and celebrate the progress and don't beat yourself up over perfection. It's all about momentum. Whether I move the needle an inch or a foot today, I still moved the needle. Now, obviously, I want to get the skill set to move the needle on a bigger pace every single day, but I also got to celebrate that I did move it. And even if the needle went back, it doesn't define who I am because I can change it tomorrow. You don't need a perfect plan. What you need is a repeatable one. And this is where it goes back to those habits of saying, I know that if I do this on a consistent basis over and over and over and over again, the results will stack up. And because I picked a plan that needs to be stacked up over and over and over again, if I miss one, it's okay because it's another piece that can just stack up. My whole life doesn't come down to me doing one thing. It comes down to me doing many things over and over and over again. Progress compounds. That's where your identity locks in. Be known to be consistent. It's important that your lifestyle becomes part of who you are because your motivation cannot be 100% every single day. Use your motivation to create habits, which will change your lifestyle, which will attract results because of who you are. All right, everyone. Those are my 10 tips for you walking into 2026 to keep you on track, help you continue to grow. Remember, the whole Enchilada community is all about personal development, personal growth, making progress together, creating that community of strong achievers just like you that want to live a life by design across multiple platforms. Remember, this year is not about starting over, even though it started a new year. It's not about you starting over who you are. Celebrate who you are. It's about stacking up better days, better habits, better decisions. And again, you don't need to be a new you. You need a clear path forward and a refined version of you. All right, my friends, thank you for being here today. Make it a great year. Let me know how I can help you. And don't forget, go live life on your terms.